right. For those maybe that I haven't met yet, my name is Jesse, and I serve on the SPRC committee. It is one of several committees at Kingston that you too could serve on if you are so interested in doing so. For those who don't know what SPRC is, kind of insider baseball language there, it is the Staff Parish Relations Committee. And this is kind of a unique committee for the United Methodist tradition. It's a committee that oversees pastoral leadership, identifies congregational needs, and works with the United Methodist Conference on personnel decisions, among other things. So we really try to be a resource for our pastoral team, but also for the church more broadly. And there are many others in the church who kind of serve on this committee, and I'm grateful for them for doing so. But I'm here this morning just to share a couple of updates with you, specifically some updates on some transitions that we are expecting coming up here soon at the church. And the first and most significant transitions include upcoming changes to our pastoral team. So as most of you probably know, Nikki and Harlan are both in their senior years at Princeton Seminary. They both have been in discernment about what's going to come next. And in February of this year, Nikki and Harlan let us know that they would be accepting other leadership positions that will be taking them away from KUMC. And I'm going to leave some space and time for the two of them to share about what is ahead, as they're both going out into some really incredibly exciting and highly desirable and competitive opportunities. And we're really, really proud of them as a church. And so I'm just going to pass it over and let Nikki and Harlan both just share what's coming next for the two of you.
Thanks, Jesse. Haven't even started yet, but friends, I want to thank you, or start by thanking you for allowing me to be your pastor this past year. This year surely has not looked the way that we expected it to look, the way that I thought it would look when I was gifted the opportunity to become your pastor over a year ago. But I say with complete confidence that being your pastor has been one of the greatest joys of my life. It is with great gratitude and sadness that I share with you all that I have accepted a position at Covenant Presbyterian Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. So for those of you who know, I'm from Atlanta. They'll be just a few hours closer to home. And I'll serve as a pastoral resident in mission and outreach. So the work that we do at St. Bart's will really be my primary work. The kind of outreach work that we do on our committees and have been doing this past year will be my primary focus in that pastoral role. But I will be staying as your lead pastor for the next few months until the end of June. But we'll be moving down to North Carolina soon thereafter. I remember when I first met Pastor Jess a few years ago, she shared with me that oftentimes it feels like much of her job is her getting paid to do what she loves to do. And I remember thinking as we were on a walk so long ago that I didn't believe her, that I didn't think that anyone could get paid to do what they actually loved to do. And I am thrilled to say, and saddened as I look at these faces that I so love, that I was so wrong. For the past year, I've gotten to do what I love to do with the people who I love, with my co-pastors and with you all. And it has been the honor of my life. You all have taught me how to do what is said in 1 Corinthians 16:14. I couldn't get through this without, being a pastor and including some scripture. So roll your eyes, but if the shoe fits. 1 Corinthians, which says, "Let all you do be done in love." What I've learned from you all is that love isn't always easy. Love isn't always cut and dry. There's going to be a lot of times where you aren't sure what you are doing when you're leading in love. Love doesn't always look the way that you expect love to look, but it has a way of doing the thing that love always does, which is bringing together and then sending out. And so love looks a lot like you all showing up to Zoom church each week, showing up to Zoom worship for God, for one another, for your pastoral team, and for yourself. Love looks like 10 of you sacrificing your time and energy each week to pour out into neighboring Trenton. You all have taught me how to do all things in love. Please know that you all have changed my life for the better. I would not be the pastor or the person that I am today if it were not for you. What an honor it has been to see new babies, and soon to be a third, baptized into this congregation. To see nearly 9 new members join our church in the past year. To watch 10 of you provide over 1,000 lunches to folks in need. I say with complete confidence that though these pews that I'm looking at are empty and have been empty for this past year, I have seen this church more clearly than ever before. I cannot wait for you all to have a new lead pastor who will have exciting new ideas on how to feed more sheep, draw our community into deeper relationship with Christ, and tell you relentlessly that you are loved and you are enough. But you've made a mark on my life as a pastor and as a human. And I love you all more than words can express. Thank you.
OMG, Nikki! Like, who wants to follow that up? Like,
Oh God.
um, I first want to say that it has been a privilege serving with Nikki and Ashley, but it's been a privilege because just to see Nikki's leadership and creativity, because she was the brainchild behind this idea of bringing all of us together to serve you all in this past year. And it has been a wonderful experience, one that I will remember forever. All right, now that I got that out the way, what can I say about Kingston that hasn't already been said about Mother Teresa herself? This has been a life-changing experience for me to serve. In all of my circles and friends that I have, I speak so much about Kingston because of the love that you all have for each other. As a pastor, to have the freedom of consciousness to speak the words that you feel God has given you, and to not receive one email of dissent or criticism has just been mind blowing. I don't think there's any other pastor who's had the same experience. One, because I know a lot of them. But the opportunity that is afforded people like me through Kingston is just invaluable, and my life will never be the same because of it. And on a lesser note, I am crying internally. But I've just cherished this moment, this season that I've had to be able to be with you all. And I pray and hope that I can see all of you in person before our time ends the end of the summer. And I've been given an opportunity to plant a church in Southern California, a Presbyterian church, PCUSA church in Southern California, sometime this fall or early winter. And because of Kingston, one of the places where I'm hoping the church will be is a church that has, it's a Japanese church, but it's built literally in a circle. So shout out to Kingston and their love for circles. But again, I can't say this enough. I've been truly blessed to have this opportunity to share with you all my heart and to grow as a pastor, and the grace that is given here to folks who are trying to folks like myself who are trying to master their craft of speaking. And so having the opportunity to speak before you and to receive critique from you has been just a gift in itself. So I'm just so thankful, Kingston, for the love that you guys have shown me um, during this process here. And I can't say thank you enough. And I look forward to um, keeping in touch. Hopefully, I'll be able to come back to Princeton to, I don't know, sing Blessed Be the Tie That Binds. Uh, but whatever the case may be, like I said, I can't say thank you enough. And I hope, if I leave and Zoom is still a thing, somebody will pick up where I left off and trolling in the chats. I would love for that to be my legacy. But anyway, love all you guys, and again, thank you so much for this opportunity. Blessings.
Harlan, I think I can speak for everybody in just saying how proud we are of both of you and how grateful we are that we've had this time with you on our leadership team here at Kingston, and so grateful for the year and all your contributions that you've given to this community, the connections that you've made with each of us, the new people that you've brought into this church, the ways that you have encouraged us to continue to grow and develop as persons during what has been an incredibly difficult year. And so we're just really, really grateful to the two of you, and so again thrilled for these exciting opportunities that are ahead. I'm going to share a few more updates, but we will, I promise, we are going to have a chance to celebrate Nikki and Harlan before they go. We will be creating time and space for that. But just being mindful of everybody's time here today, I am just going to go ahead and share a couple more updates here. Before I kind of go into some of those things, I think one of the things as leadership team we've been talking about is how Kingston is this place, and for those who are fairly new to it, this might be a new thing to you, but I know many of you have been around the community for a long time. That Kingston is a church that goes through these transitions a lot, and they can be incredibly painful. Yeah, like they're not always fun to say goodbye, and I certainly feel that, and I know many of you feel that within the church as well. But this is, as painful as it is, a core part of who we are. Kingston has an amazing legacy of being a church that develops incredible leaders that go out and are in ministry all throughout the country. And so I asked Nikki just to move over to our little map there, since we can't be in the church. And Nikki, I don't know if you can, we're going to actually wait to do pins for when we celebrate you. Sorry, not to get you too excited about that, because we will do that when we celebrate you. But I just wanted to show the map. If you could like zoom us in there a little bit, because it's literally well over 100 leaders at this point that have come out of the Kingston community. You see all those little pins and flags there on the church. You might need to pin Nikki's video to see that more clearly. But they're literally, those represent leaders that have come through Kingston, that have been developed by this church. And it's something that we are so proud of. And again, I don't want to take away from how painful this can be, and how difficult it is to say goodbye. But it is something that we are incredibly proud as part of our identity as a church. And so, Nikki and Harlan, we are proud of you and proud that you are a part of our legacy here at Kingston, and so excited for what is ahead for the two of you. And Harlan is continuing to troll in the chat. So, what's next? We are working with the district, our district superintendent, his name is Hector Burgos, to identify the next phase for Kingston leadership. For those who are new to the United Methodist tradition, it's kind of a weird one in that the denomination typically appoints pastors. So the conference, think of it like a school district, they kind of appoint people to oversee an individual church. Kingston historically has been a little bit unique in a lot of different ways in that we've had a lot of say in that process, but we are going to be entering the appointment process this year. And one thing that is for sure, and I'm really excited to share, is that Ashley is going to be staying on with us next year. Very, very grateful and excited about that. Ashley, we are so thankful to have you provide that continuity of leadership, but also for the gifts that you've shared with us this year and that you will get to continue to share with us next year as well. We're really, really excited that we get to keep you. So thank you, Ashley. And there are some other transitions happening at Kingston. I'm really excited to share that Fred is going to be taking over as our new SBRC chair going forward. And Fred is here today. Just on a personal note, Fred has already been involved in a lot of these discussions about the transitions that are taking place. He's been in meetings with me and our admin team and the district superintendent. And I am just really, really excited for Kingston to have Fred in this chair, who has already provided some really deep wisdom, insight, and thoughtfulness in this process. So thank you, Fred, for being willing to step into this role. And I think Kingston is just so lucky to have you in that position. I'm also really excited to share that we have some other people that have joined SBRC. Cheryl and Prasna recently agreed to join the committee, and they joined our first SBRC meeting this last week. So thank you to the two of you for sharing your gifts. And this is kind of the nature of Kingston. Again, this might sound like a lot of changes today, but Kingston is a place that, despite all the odds, continues to be a resilient community where we have leaders that have been developed that go on to new and other opportunities, and new leaders step into new positions, and that core identity and the mission of Kingston is kept: feeding more sheep. And so I'm just so proud of this community and also of all the people that continue to step into these leadership roles to make that happen. So thank you to each of you. As I mentioned, we will be celebrating our pastors before they leave. Their contracts are up until the end of June, so we still have them for a couple more months here. But for now, just please once again join me in congratulating Nikki and Harlan, and also celebrating that we get to keep Ashley for this upcoming year. Congratulations again. We'll stick around for a few more minutes. If there are some specific questions, we'd be happy to field a couple of those. But if you do have questions that go beyond this time that you're maybe not sure in processing, Fred is going to be around, and Fred will field those questions as the new SBRC chair. So feel free to reach out to Fred or other members of the committee if you happen to know them. So we'll stick around for a couple minutes if you have some questions, but otherwise you all are free to go if you'd like to go.